Hey guys, what's up? I'm gonna give me a 5 for 5 and we'll just jump into this. Yeah, interesting, huh? What I was talking about last night actually ended up occurring again. We had a X player here, and it was on the would be the west side of the sun, and it did cross over our interplanetary magnetic field line connection to the sun, and it did shoot some extra protons our way, so we could be looking at another radiation storm. The R3 blackouts is what we would be expecting with the flare. Now the flare is already here and gone, guys. It just is what it is. The stuff gets here in about 8 minutes as far as the X-ray. That's how we measure a flare. But let me let's go ahead and back that off one more. But this was a pretty photogenic one. It wasn't like extremely photogenic, but it was it held its own. Okay, this is the 171 angstrom right here. That's the yellow view, and this is from SDO satellite. That satellite that sits out in geosynchronistic orbit. The one I show you guys always. It's from our point of view. It stays over the same part of our planet at all times, but keeps its eye on the sun. So this is the 171 angstrom. It looks at a specific gas. We can't see this gas with our eyes, but you see this. Obviously, I think you guys can. That was a significant amount of plasma that was ejected out there too. Now I'm not sure about the CME portion of this yet, so I'm not even going to try to guess if the CME is going to be however powerful it's going to be, or if it's even going to come our way. It does look like it could have an Earth-directed component to it, but I'm just not willing to, go all the way with that yet. The data's just not there. The initial look, guys, it didn't look like it had a complete halo. So it may not. It could be a glancing blow. It could be, a whole lot of things. But we also had a filament up here release on the north, and that kind of opened up a canyon of fire up here also. This is the 304. Okay? And this was an impulsive flare. So let me tell you what I mean by that. This is NOAA, and what you're looking at here is the X-ray flux. Okay, so this is how we measure a flare, and when it gets to X-class level, we're talking R3 radio blackout storm. But that storm's probably already subsided, because those typically last about an hour when they hit, and we're well past that. This hit, I don't know, we're at 3, 6, probably around 8 UTC. I'm not exactly sure exactly what time. We can look in just a second. But we did have a proton increase right here shortly after that eruption. So now, sometimes those protons get here a little bit slower than what they do on others. So this could be all the extra protons we get from it, or this thing could actually start going back up in the storm level. Not sure. Just got to wait on that. Sometimes that takes time. Now we are, 6 hours, or 6 or whatever, however many hours we are away from when that flare happened. Most of the time with really big radiation storms that hit, the protons would have already been here in a case like that. But again, I'm not going to sit there and say that 100% yet, because I simply just don't know. We don't know yet. Data's not there. Now, I did wait a little while before I came on here, because I wanted to make sure that I had as much info as I could give you. But, so, let me, let's go back over here to ISFL real quick. This is the 304 angstrom, and this thing was rather photogenic over here. So let me zoom in a little bit more for you. And given what we're seeing here, you know, an X2 flare isn't like, you know, extreme, right? So I wouldn't expect like any kind of like massive whatever with this, but it is very significant. I mean, it did look like it shot out a lot of plasma. Look at that. So, yeah. And look at it. You guys, did you guys see that? I want to show that to you again, because that plasma shot out an extreme amount as far as distance. And there on the end, you could see it just pull back into the sun. That's magnetics, okay, mainly, and gravity and a lot of other things. See how far that went out? Now watch right over here. See that? See how it was still coming back way over here? So what I'm saying is this shot way off before it got reclaimed back to the sun. So it's just another way to show you guys how most of this stuff is done with magnetics. Okay? It just gets drawn back in. So in other words, what's happened here is this has erupted out, and the force of it wasn't enough to get all of that out. Okay, the magnetics and the gravity of the sun, and again, like I said, a lot of other things, has drawn it back in. Some of it. Now, the majority of that looks like it shot on out, and we're seeing a little bit come back. I'm only showing you that to you so you guys can understand those are those lines I talked about, and it got on those lines and just came right on back to the sun. Some of that did. But this is a rather photogenic, a rather wide, I would say, eruption as far as distance this way. Okay? And like I said again, you know, we have this up here, this filament here, watch. See that? That's another CME. And that one happened before, and then I think what's triggered this is we had one over here blow off, watch. I don't think that this one's going to really affect us. Not sure yet, but I'm pretty sure that one's not going to. That's behind the limb. That happened, and then this happens, and then the X-flare happens. Okay? So what I'm saying is that the magnetics got destabilized, and it just kind of followed all the way across the sun. You can see it kind of happen in that kind of in-line type of thing, in that sequence. Okay? And that happens often. You know, a bigger eruption is going to disrupt a bigger part of what's going on, you know? It's just how it works. So let me go back over here. We'll get us a really good look at this right here. I'm going to play it at full speed so you guys get the full understanding on how powerful this thing actually is. And again, I'll slow it down here in a minute. It's just, see all that stuff go back to the surface? That's plasma going back. Okay, and even like an hour afterward, it was still drawing it back in from way out. So, yeah. But again, that is, you know, that's where the flare was at. Now, what we can do is I'm going to, you guys see that? Look at that. See how far? I mean, that's a long distance there, guys. That's impressive, actually. But, so if we go forward, okay, let me back it up. Okay, so here we go. Check this out. All right. Maybe I should have used that for the thumbnail. I don't know. But look at all that coming out of there. I mean, that's just impressive, in my opinion. So, yeah, it's a very impressive one. And after seeing that, I'm not sure that, you know, we may have an Earth-directed component to this. I'm just not going to say that we are 100 yet, because I can't say that yet. We can go look and see what we can kind of guesstimate, I guess. We'll look at the 211, the purple one here, and see what it's got. Let's go ahead and update that one and see if it's gives us. Yeah, it's going to have to update. All right, let's go up here and look at the 171 then. And before we go back to that, I'm going to take you to seeds here and show you this on seeds. This is the Soho Observatory. Spit it out, Wages. Come on. And what you're looking at there is roughly 10 hours of time. Look at all them eruptions in that time frame. Okay? Now, not all of it's coming at us. I mean, it's not. I'm going to slow it down so you guys can get a better look at these. But some of these, like this one over here, that one off to the left, that was on the backside. That's that first eruption I showed you guys on that side of the sun. This one on the top was that filament, so it doesn't really look like it had a whole lot of Earth-directed component there either. Because I'm not seeing any kind of full halo anything going on here. Not yet. Okay? So I'm going to pause it. It's unfortunate that this is the only image we got on this one. Because we don't have... So you go from... Yeah, we get 2 images of that X-flare on this particular satellite. That's it. So even that, I mean, you can see how far out this is going here with the bright colored plasma being illuminated here. Yeah, we don't oftentimes see that. And again, that would be what we would expect with X-flares. Okay? And we don't see X-flares a whole lot. Especially ones that are kind of on this side of the sun. I guess there's not really a whole lot of difference. I mean, we talk about the Earth facing quiet that we always have to take in consideration. That's when the sunspots get in front of us and they're just quiet. They like calm down, and then as they rotate on through and get just a little out of our point of view, they start firing again. It's kind of a strange phenomenon, but that's what happens. So now let's go back here. Oop, that is, again, so this is the 171, and what we're going to look at here, guys, while I'm showing this, the reason I'm showing this one to you is so we can kind of see what the corona is doing in relation to how far out, like, the ripple effect happens with the atmosphere during these X-class, or during this particular eruption. So I'm going to back it up here. So we can kind of see there's the eruption, and it is, it's kind of going that way, but the thing of it is, I'm not seeing a whole lot of eruption going this direction. I'm seeing it kind of go wide, but it's kind of going wide to our right also, which would be the west, southwest, okay? So it looks like it's, I guess the CME itself looks like it might be a little bit on the thinner side instead of like thick. And what I mean by that is the degree. Like sometimes we'll get 180 degree from like here to here, and so other times we'll get 100 degree, and it's only from here to here. So it may be one of those ones that it's just more concentrated in an area, and we would kind of expect that with an impulsive flare like this one was. Okay, so let's go down here and check out the 211. This may give us a better idea, because I do think this shows us the atmosphere disruptions better. Well, see, that's why we look at all of them. You can see it ripple out all the way over here, and I'm going to let this run for a second, and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so let me back it up some. This is the 211 angstrom, guys, okay? It's just looks at specific gases. They could give this thing any color they want. Okay, there it went. Okay, so we're going to start here. And, the X-flare happens here. And what we're looking for is like the atmospheric distortion in this imaging that happens when we get a bigger, stronger flare. See that? Okay, so that erupts. And we do see a little bit of a disruption this way. I mean, I will say this. This is not directly coming at us. We may see a low-level geomagnetic storm from this. Not sure until all the models start updating. Okay. Again, but what I can tell you is we're not getting the center of this eruption. It went this way. So if we get something, it's going to be something that is fanned out, and those can be significant. But again, this is not a grid down situation or anything like that. It's an X flare. Plus, we got to take into consideration this one up here. This could actually have an Earth-directed component also. We'll back it up here a little bit and let's see what we got here. So we had that filament release off right there. Okay, now see, I don't think that one's going to have a whole lot of chance of getting us either, because that one went kind of pretty much north. So, yeah, we may not see a whole lot after what we've already gotten. Okay, but again, we got to wait on the data to get in. Okay, as far as getting a little bit more specific on what we can expect. What I can say is I don't expect anything that is excessive geomagnetic storming. Not right this second. Not until if I see something different when I start looking at the other updated data, I'll let you know. But right now I don't see that. Okay. But there it is again. Let's I think if let me try something here, guys. You might be able to get some more imaging here. Let's try this. Nope. It's just going to give us the same stuff. I don't know why that's not giving us more imaging than that. So let's go back over here to ISFA, and I'll scroll down because I do have the same imaging over here too. Okay, right here. Yeah. So you're not going to be able to see the beginning of that CME. It looks like the data is just not showing up too much right there. It skipped some time a little bit there. Not a whole lot, but it did skip a few images there. Okay. So that's the first image we get. So we got 524 right there, UTC. Then it skips 4 hours, and we get 9. Now, a lot of times, those will end up getting put back in there. Sometimes the information or the data gets a little bit corrupted, and they got to clean it up. Because sometimes it just gets messed up. We may never see the beginning of that. But you don't have to, really. The beginning of it isn't really what we're concerned with. We're concerned about how when it starts getting out a little further. Okay. So, I'm not sure if anybody else has reported on this yet. I would imagine that you're going to start seeing it really, really shortly. Now, this is Dr. Tony Phillips over at spaceweather.com. This is not that flare. He hasn't reported on this yet. And again, guys, it's early. So, just keep that in mind. I'm not going to show you much of anything else, guys. There's just not a whole lot more to show you. I already went over a lot of the other stuff last night during my live stream. So, but guys, please share this out. I would appreciate that. Let's just get it out as far as we can. Let everybody know that hey, we had an X flare. And when I get all the data in from the models, I'll try to come back tonight or even later on this afternoon and give you guys more of an updated, more specific forecast on this. What I call nowcasting. When things happen, I report on it. This is how it is. I'm not going to try to forecast out big time stuff. Okay. But anyway, guys, God bless. Yahusha saves, and yeah, you can drink this Kool-Aid.